Honey, honey,
What?
I want to get a Savannah monitor.
You don't need no Savannah monitor, boy.
I need to get one for my collection.
Bruh, alright. You can get one if you can tell me the scientific name of the Savannah monitor.
I can do that. That is easy. Watch this. The Varanus exotermoleculartixis.
What?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, one more time. The Varanus exotermoleculartixis. Okay, you got me. I can't tell you the scientific name of a Savannah monitor. I can't pronounce it, but I still do have some knowledge. For instance, the Savannah monitor is native to Africa, and they can grow between 3 and 4 feet long and live for 10 to 15 years. This is a big investment, and you're going to want to do your research, and that's why we're here today. I'm going to tell you the top 5 things you need to know before you buy a Savannah monitor. The Savannah monitor is not a beginner reptile. Let me repeat that. The Savannah monitor is not a beginner reptile. So if you're just jumping into the hobby, you are wanting a Savannah monitor, I suggest that before you do get it, you need to do an extensive amount of research, and not just research, get in some practice. And how do you do that? You get other reptiles first. And when you get those reptiles, it's going to teach you about keeping the right humidity in your enclosure, keeping the right temperature. You're going to learn about heat mats. You're going to learn about prey size. You're going to learn about shedding. You're going to learn about reptiles. So I guess what I'm saying is practice makes perfect. So before you make a purchase of a Savannah monitor, I suggest owning other reptiles first and just practicing with them, learning how to get care requirements on point. Housing. Now this is going to be one of your more expensive investments, unless you're Noah or one of Noah's children and can build your Savannah monitor and enclosure. I know I can't. So you're going to have to shell out money, quite a bit, for a nice enclosure or a decent size enclosure. Now, one of the most important things is making sure your enclosure is secure. Savannah monitors are known escape artists. Now let's talk about size requirements. A juvenile or a hatchling can live comfortably in a 55 gallon. But you're going to have to upgrade them within at least 6 months because they're going to keep growing. An adult Savannah monitor will require an enclosure that is at least 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 3 feet high. Now this is a minimum enclosure. So the enclosure is important to think about before you invest in the Savannah monitor. Most Savannah monitor owners already have their adult enclosure set up before they even bring their Savannah monitor home. Temperatures and humidity are so important. They keep your Savannah monitor healthy and happy. Now your temperature in your cage, you're going to want it between 85 and 90 degrees. Now don't worry, at night these temperatures can drop and kind of cool off a little bit. Now don't forget, you're going to need a basking spot of between 100 and 110 degrees. This is very important as Savannah monitors love to bask. Now don't forget your humidity. Lots of people normally keep their Savannah monitors in dry, desert-like environments, which is fine because that's where they're from. They're from Africa. It's very dry, very hot, very desert-like. But recent studies have shown that Savannah monitors can thrive with a little bit of humidity. It's totally fine. So if you want to do a dry environment, great. If you want to have a little humidity, that's great too. Your humidity, you want to keep that between 40 and 50% if you do decide to have some in your enclosure. Feeding your Savannah monitor. It can be costly. That's why a lot of Savannah monitor owners breed their own mice. Now, juvenile Savannah monitors should be fed 3 times a week, and in each sitting, they should be fed 1 to 4 fuzzy mice or 1 small mouse. Now, an adult Savannah monitor should be fed once a week, and in each sitting, it should be fed 2 to 3 adult mice or 1 large rat. That's a lot of mice, and it can get intimidating, but that's okay. If you've done your research, you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, don't get me wrong, throughout the week, you can supplement their diet with crickets, but these crickets need to be gut fed and also dusted with calcium. Another thing that's going to save you when owning a Savannah monitor is having an amazing exotic vet. Savannah monitors are prone to parasitic infections, respiratory infections, mites. There's so much that can go wrong, as with any other reptile. So one thing that I always recommend is just having that exotic vet that's going to help you keep your animals healthy. Getting a Savannah monitor is a huge investment, and it's definitely something to think about. So before you do it, do your research. Make sure you know everything. Make sure you have gathered as much of the equipment you're going to need, whether it's the setup, tank, everything that you need. Just gather it, do your research, and if you're going to make that investment, do it, but do it the right way. This is Derek's Reptiles. I appreciate you for watching. We out of here.